The air in the apartment was thick with the scent of burnt toast, a bitter tang that clung to my throat as I stood frozen in the kitchen doorway. My hands trembled, clutching the edge of the counter, the cold granite biting into my palms. On the table, my phone screen glowed with a message from Elise. I'm engaged to someone else. We've been seeing each other for months. The words seared into my retinas, each syllable a shard of glass slicing through the fragile trust I'd built over 3 years with her. My knees buckled, but I didn't fall. Not yet. The morning had started with a deceptive calm. Sunlight spilled through the blinds, painting golden stripes across the hardwood floor. I'd woken to the soft clink of Elise's coffee mug against the saucer, her laughter floating from the living room as she scrolled through her phone. "You're up early," I'd teased, my voice still heavy with sleep. She'd flashed me a smile, bright, unguarded, the kind that used to make my chest ache with love. "Just catching up," she'd said, her fingers dancing over the screen. I hadn't thought twice about it. Why would I? Elise was my anchor, my constant in a world that often felt like it was spinning too fast. But there were signs, weren't there? Small, nagging things I'd brushed off like dust on a shelf. The late nights at work that stretched longer than her usual deadlines. The way her phone was always face down now, its screen a black mirror reflecting my growing unease. The perfume she wore last month, something sharp and unfamiliar, not the soft lavender I'd bought her for our anniversary. I'd told myself it was nothing. People change scents. People work late. People get distracted. But standing here now, with her confession burning a hole in my pocket, those excuses felt like lies I'd fed myself to keep the truth at bay. I sank into a chair, the wood creaking under my weight. My mind raced, replaying every moment, every glance, every half-spoken sentence. Had she been thinking of him when she kissed me goodnight? When we planned our future? Our house by the coast, the dog we'd name after her favorite poet. The betrayal wasn't just in her words. It was in the theft of those dreams, now tainted, unraveling like a sweater snagged on a nail. I heard the front door click open, and my heart lurched. Elise stepped inside, her auburn hair catching the light, her green eyes wide with something I couldn't name. Guilt, maybe, or defiance. "You're home," she said, her voice soft but unsteady, like she was testing the waters. She set her bag down, the leather thudding against the floor, and I noticed her hand linger on the strap, as if anchoring herself. "You're engaged," I said, the words spilling out, raw and jagged. My voice didn't sound like mine, it was too hollow, too broken. Her face crumpled for a moment, then hardened, like she'd been preparing for this. "Ryan, she stopped, her lips pressing into a thin line. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this." "Like this?" I laughed, a bitter sound that echoed in the quiet room. "How should I have found out, Elise? At the wedding? When you moved out? Or were you just going to keep pretending until I figured it out myself?" Her eyes darted to the floor, then back to me. "I wanted to tell you. I tried so many times. But every time I looked at you, I couldn't. I didn't want to hurt you." "Hurt me?" I stood, my chair scraping against the floor. The sound was harsh, like a scream in the silence. "You've been seeing someone else for months. You let me believe we were." My voice cracked and I hated it. I hated how weak I sounded. How much I still loved her even now, standing in the wreckage of us. "It wasn't planned," she said, stepping closer, her hands outstretched like she could bridge the chasm between us. "It just happened. I met him at work. He was kind and I was struggling, and you were always so busy with your projects, and—" "Don't," I snapped, my hands balling into fists. "Don't you dare make this my fault. I was here, Elise. I was here. Every night, every fight, every moment you needed me. And you chose someone else." Her eyes glistened, but no tears fell. "I didn't choose him over you," she whispered. I fell in love with him. I didn't know how to stop it." The room spun. "Love." She'd said it like it was a force of nature, like a storm she couldn't outrun. But love was a choice, wasn't it? Every day, I'd chosen her, through her silences, her distance, her secrets. And she'd chosen to lie. "Who is he?" I asked, my voice low, dangerous. I didn't know if I wanted to know, but I needed to. Needed to put a face to the shadow that had stolen her from me. She hesitated, her fingers twisting the ring on her left hand, a ring I hadn't given her. His name's David. He's in marketing. You met him once, at the company picnic last summer. David. The guy with the easy smile, the one who'd lingered too long when he shook my hand. I'd thought he was just friendly. God, I'd been blind. And you're engaged, I said, the word tasting like ash. How long? 2 weeks, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. He proposed and I said yes. I know it sounds crazy, but it felt right. I didn't know how to tell you. I turned away, my gaze landing on the photo frame on the mantel, a picture of us at the beach, her laughing as I lifted her into the waves. That moment felt like a lifetime ago. Why didn't you just leave? I asked, my back to her. Why string me along? Because I still love you, she said, and the words hit like a punch. I know it doesn't make sense, Ryan. I know I messed up, but part of me didn't want to let you go. I spun around, anger flaring. You don't get to say that. You don't get to love me and destroy me at the same time. My voice shook, and I hated how close I was to breaking. You made a choice, Elise. You chose him. She flinched, and for a moment, I saw the girl I'd fallen for, vulnerable, human, flawed. But then her jaw tightened, and she straightened. I'm sorry, she said, and it sounded final, like a door slamming shut. I'll pack my things. I watched her move through the apartment, her footsteps soft but deliberate, like she was already leaving me behind. Drawers opened and closed, the rustle of clothes filling the silence. My mind churned with questions I didn't ask. Did she ever love me the way I loved her? Was I not enough? Or was she just too weak to fight for us? As she zipped up her suitcase, the doorbell rang, sharp and jarring. Elise froze, her eyes darting to mine, wide with panic. My stomach twisted. Who's that? I asked, though I already knew. She didn't answer, just moved to the door, her hands shaking as she opened it. There he was, David, standing in our doorway, his face a mix of concern and determination. Elise, you okay? He asked, his voice low, intimate. He didn't even look at me. The sight of him ignited something primal in me. I stepped forward, my fists clenched, but Elise moved between us, her hand on my chest. Ryan, don't, she pleaded. This isn't his fault. I laughed, a hollow, broken sound. Not his fault. He's standing in my home, taking my life, and it's not his fault. I looked at David, his calm demeanor infuriating. Get out, I said, my voice deadly quiet. David's eyes met mine, steady, unapologetic. I'm sorry, man, he said, and I hated how genuine he sounded. I didn't mean for it to go like this. Get out, I repeated, each word a blade. He nodded, stepping back, but Elise turned to me, her face streaked with tears now. I'll go, she said. I'll go with him. But Ryan, I never wanted to hurt you. I swear. She walked out, her suitcase trailing behind her, the wheels scraping against the floor like a final goodbye. The door closed, and the silence was deafening. I stood there, alone, the weight of her betrayal pressing down on me, heavy as the world. But then I noticed something on the counter, a small, folded note in her handwriting. I unfolded it, my hands trembling. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'll always love you, even if I don't deserve to. And beneath it, the ring I'd given her 2 years ago, the one she'd stopped wearing months back. She'd left it behind, like a piece of her heart she couldn't take with her. I sank to the floor, the note crumpling in my fist. The betrayal was complete, but the twist wasn't her leaving. It was the part of me that still wanted her to stay.